Hello, welcome to the Self-Learning Series for Control-M Workload Automation Products. My name is James Pendergrast, and I'm a Technical Support Analyst for Control-M Distributed Systems. This is a series of self-learning videos that are designed to help you with your day-to-day task with Control-M. The title of today's video is Using Debug with Control-M Server and Agent. In this video, we will be examining how to enable debug on the Control-M Server and Agent. For the Control-M Server, we will discuss what debug is and when to use it, how to enable and disable debug with the DBG LVL utility, and starting the Control-M Server in full debug mode. The location of the log files, what first failed data capture is, and the parameters that control the number and size of log files. For the Control-M Agent, we will discuss how to enable debug and disable debug, the location of the log files, and once again what first failed data capture is. The Control-M Server version 7.0 has 8 separate processes. The number of processes varies from one release to another. Enabling debug is the method used to have one or more of the Control-M processes report in a more detailed format exactly what it's doing. The PRF command will show all the processes that we're running, the process ID, the state, and the diagnostic level. The command that's used to set and change the debug levels is Dbg LVL. If we type it without any options, it gives us a syntax, lets us know that we need to put the process name, the debug level, and the module number. Typically we use debug level 4 for each of the individual modules, and for this example we'll be looking at NS, which handles the server to agent communications. We can see from the output of the PRF command that none of the Control-M server processes are in debug at this time. All of the server processes write their log files to the proclog directory. The file names start with the first 2 letters of the Control-M server process. The second part of the file name is the actual process ID from the machine. If we look at the NS process, we can see that there's very little in there. It just has the machine that it's running on, the version, any fixed packs typically are in there, some information about the machine limits. If we put this in debug mode 4, we can see that the NS process responded to our request to enable diagnostics. If we run the PRF command again, we can see that the NS process is now in debug level 4. To disable the debug, we use Dbg LVL, name of the process, and the number 0. NS has now responded. We can verify with PRF. It is not in diagnostic level 0. If we now look at the NS process, the NS file, we can see that we still have the same information that we started with, but much more information in here about exactly what the process was doing, what it's trying to process, and if it's stuck on something or having an internal problem. Control-M Server version 7.0 and above and Control-M Agent 7.0 and above have first failed data capture. When a problem is detected, the process enters debug level 4 for 600 seconds and dumps the memory map. This allows us to gather information that typically we don't have if the process isn't running in debug mode. The limits on the number of files and the size of the files created while the server process is in debug mode is controlled by 2 parameters in the $serverhome/data/config.dat file. The file size parameter controls in megabytes how large each individual file is, and the versions parameter indicates how many versions will be saved. So by default, you get 10 files of 10 megabytes or 100 megabytes. This number can be changed, and it is active when the server does a restart. To enable debug on the Control-M Agent, use the CTM-AG-CFG utility, and it will bring up a menu. Select number 5, diagnostic level, change that to 4 for full diagnostics, and then do the S for save, and this will send a trigger to the Control-M Agent processes to let them know to come reread the configuration file. And when they reread the configuration file, they'll note that the diagnostics level is changed, and they will immediately go into that diagnostic level. And then to remove the debug, simply select diagnostic level, change it back to 0, and save again.